Good afternoon. Welcome to the Township of Addington Highlands Regular Council Meeting, June 16th, 2026. I'll call the meeting to order. Today's meeting is being streamed live via the Township of Addington Highlands YouTube channel. To those present in the gallery today by attending a public meeting of council, you are consenting to your image, voice, and comments being recorded. Anyone invited to speak will be recorded and their voice, image, and comments will form part of the live stream. The chair and/or clerk have the discretion and authority at any time to direct the termination or interruption of the live streaming. Such direction will only be given in exceptional circumstances where deemed relevant. Circumstances may include instances where the content of debate is considered misleading, defamatory, or potentially inappropriate to be published. Notice is hereby provided that under the authority of the Municipal Act 2001 and in accordance with Ontario's Municipal Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act, that all information provided for or at a public meeting/consultation or other public processes are considered part of the public record. Members of council staff, delegation, and attendees should be mindful of using names of individuals or entities when discussing matters in public. Attendees are advised that they may be subject to legal action if their actions result in inappropriate and/or unacceptable behavior and/or comments. As per the Township's procedure bylaw, as amended, all votes during electronic meetings will be recorded votes. All of council is present in the meeting room at the Addington Highlands Community Centre, Denbigh. Thank you. Okay, we'll proceed to item 2, approval of the agenda. Moved by Councillor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Levier. Any additions? None noted. Call the vote. Councillor Thompson.
Yes.
Deputy Reeve Hook.
Yes.
Councillor Levier.
Yes.
Councillor Yench.
Yes.
And that motion is carried. Move to item 3.1, adoption of the regular meeting minutes of June 2nd, 2026. Moved by Councillor Yench, seconded by Deputy Reeve Hook. Any errors, omissions? None noted. Councillor Thompson.
Yes.
Deputy Reeve Hook.
Yes.
Councillor Levier.
Yes.
Councillor Yench.
Yes.
And that motion is carried. On to item 4, business arising from the minutes. Item 4.1, this relates to a business arising from a May 19th, 2026 meeting related to the Corridor Train Alliance request. Were you going to speak to that, Patricia?
Yes, thank you. So this was just a report to let council know that we were working on the direction that we were given to see if council could make a contribution to this organization if they so choose. So we did seek a legal opinion on that, and I provided that information in the report. And it would appear that council would be able to make a contribution if they felt that the expenditure served a municipal purpose and was in the best interest of the public. There was a suggestion in the information that we received that we should seek accountability from the organization and perhaps get a copy of their incorporation documents or confirmation of their incorporation status, copies of their government filings, confirmation of banking or signing authority, budget or accounting of intended expenditures, and confirmation that the funds would only be used for what was stated in their for the stated advocacy purposes. So we did reach out to that organization and just recently received a letter back saying that they would provide a letter verifying that they are an incorporated organization and provide some additional information that way. Currently, I only have the email. And I can bring that back to council once I have it at the next meeting, if you like. So there was a recommendation just to receive the information at this time and to defer again pending further information, if you like.
Thanks, Patricia. Any questions? Deputy Hook, go ahead.
I did a fair bit of digging on this company on the internet as much as I could find, and went to their website. And they say that they only support Alto if there's a stop in Kingston and a dedicated track is created to the 401 corridor. But on the website, there's nothing stating who is behind this. There's no names. or how the money is going to be used. And this is one of, I found another two organizations very similar. There's another one called another one called Coalition for Better Rail. So there's other lobby groups out there. This one seems to have some support from Save South Frontenac, but not from Tyandanega Township, who says that they value the municipal land along the 401 corridor and it's too valuable to give it up to Alto. So they're not supporting it. Rideau Lakes is not supporting it either. I would assume there's other ones that have supported it, but they weren't mentioned. The coalition does have a Facebook page with only 145 followers. That's not a lot. I mean, the What's Happening page has 22,000. So they don't have a lot of followers on that. And also that Addington Highlands, the County of LNA, the Eastern Ontario Wardens Caucus have made our point clear that we are, we've made it clear. So I don't know how lobbying would be of any benefit to us, and anybody can donate to the cause as they wish, like any ratepayer. So I don't feel that we should donate money on behalf of the ratepayers. If they wish to donate to the cause, they should do it. And I think we should just vote to receive it.
Any other comments? I know when we seen this at that meeting, when we looked at this item, it was a little confusing to us, and we certainly, probably most members of council weren't really sure, maybe a little hesitant to even think maybe we should be donating to a cause like that, because it was probably a bit of a stretch for us compared to what we would normally allot, I guess, taxpayers' money to. So so we have one option is to receive it and then request staff not to go any further on it. Is that the motion you plan to make?
Yeah, I would make that motion.
Okay. Seconded by Councillor Olivier. Any other comments on this issue? Okay. Call the vote. Councillor Thompson?
Yes.
Deputy Hook?
Yes.
Councillor Olivier?
Yes.
Councillor Yanch?
Yes.
That motion's carried. And thank you, Patricia, for digging into it. The information helped us put that more into perspectives. Item 5, disclosure of pecuniary interest and the general nature thereof. None noted. No delegations or petitions. Move on to matters for consideration. First item is 7.1 Blackwell Construction and Team Small Engine Repairs. Requesting to use some township property in Flinton for a fireworks display. Christine, you please go ahead.
I'd just like to add a couple of things to the request, just to advise council that this activity has actually been going on for a number of years now. And I was just made aware of it last year and approached Mr. Blackwell about the fact that it is township property and you really should seek permission before just using it. So just a bit of background that's how this has come about. The request does comply with the township's noise bylaw. They are permitted to set off fireworks on Canada Day and Canada Day only, and the other three. But I just wanted to give a bit of background as to why it came about. It's been going on for a few years. We've actually received absolutely no complaints or concerns over the last times it's happened. So I thought council should be aware of those details as well.
Thank you. Councillor Yanch?
Yes, I'm in support of this, and I'm glad they came to council for permission. That's really important. And yes, it has been going on for quite a few years, and I have not heard a complaint about it at all. Anyway, so I'm in support of this.
Deputy Reeve, did you? No. Okay, so we had there's a staff recommendation that we receive it, and I believe you want to approve it. So someone want to make that motion? Moved by Councillor Yanch, seconded by Councillor Thompson. Any other comments on it? No. Councillor Thompson?
Yes.
Deputy Hook?
Yes.
Councillor Olivier?
Yes.
Councillor Yanch?
Yes.
That motion's carried. Move on to 7.2, Invading Species Awareness Program from Quinte Conservation. And then, yep, go ahead, Patricia.
Thank you. So we did receive this request from Jane Butler at Quinny Conservation regarding the invasive species booth that they would like to set up a couple of times throughout the year. And I did seek further clarification as to where they were looking to, intended to set up. So they are looking to use the Trails and Boat Launch on Scutamata Lake and do it 2 to 3 times over the summer, as that lake falls within their watershed. And they would advise in advance of those dates when they intend to be there. I've also provided them contact information with the president of the SDRA and advised that they were doing an initiative as well. So she's reached out to them and plans to participate during their event as well.
Thank you.
She's just looking for permission then and then would reach out and deal with staff in the future.
Anyone have any questions or comments? Deputy Hook?
I think any education to the public on invasive species is worthwhile. And so I think I'd make a motion that we support the request.
Okay, we have a mover, Deputy Hook, seconded by Councillor Yantch. To support the request. Any other comments? No, we'll call the vote. Councillor Thompson,
Yes.
Deputy Hook,
Yes.
Councillor Levier,
Yes.
Councillor Yantch.
Yes.
And that motion is carried. So item 7.3, Hydro One Community Partnership Grant. The intro to this agenda item does explain it. It's similar to what will be on their website. This grant focuses on anything that would really relate to emergency preparedness, critical infrastructure, and community well-being. Our CBO, David Twitty, and our fire chief, Casey Cuddy, had both commented on this. And there were a number of things that were sort of brought up. One was a fix, because they're not here to speak for them. I'll just, and Christine, you may add to this when they get through. One was a fixed generator that serves both the Denbigh Fire Hall and the Denbigh Garage. I think it was around, this wouldn't cover it. I don't remember the exact amount. He estimated that generator, but maybe it would be half of the cost of that generator. That was the one item that definitely fits the scope. Another one was lighting at the Ball Diamond in Flinton, upgrading it to LEDs. That's a great idea, but I think it's a stretch for the scope. Another one was AEDs at garages, waste sites, rinks, and parks. They're like $2,700 each. They may not be completely out of scope, but they're a slight stretch. The other idea Christine's not aware of came up was improving our warming cooling centers so that we are have a better readiness when we need to use them, which are really at the Flinton Hall and the community center in Denbigh. They fit the scope, but I mean, anything we would do there would relate to ensuring we have a little more prepared, in terms of charging stations, that we have refrigeration for medication, maybe some water coolers set up, power for medical equipment that people need to plug in. And some cooling centers actually have the ability to have a TV, or they have some backup batteries. They have other things like that. So if it goes on for a couple of days, people, at least they're comfortable and not just sitting on a chair staring at a wall. But those are some ideas. There's no, did you want to add anything, Christine, before I open it up to the floor? So other members of council have thoughts on this? Go ahead, Councillor.
Yes, I assume that this information would be sent to Lions clubs as well, or is it just municipalities?
No, that's a good.
It does talk about support. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Christine.
The information does talk about municipally endorsed charitable organizations. So my assumption is that an organization such as the Lions Club would seek a letter of endorsement from the municipality to support their application. So I believe you are correct.
Yeah, I know I received this just as the Reeve, so I didn't know who else it went to. Yeah. So I don't know what you, Christine, did you have any thoughts on? I'm not sure what you want to do, and I don't know. I have a question then. So if we applied for the backup generator for that jointly would support the Denbigh garage and the Denbigh fire hall, and obviously there's not enough money to cover it, and we wouldn't, and that would have to be expenditure this year. How would we deal with that? Kicking in our share.
So council could resolve to take any funding shortfall for the project from reserves. Both the fire department and the roads department do have reserves. We have general reserves as well. We would examine which ones would be the most appropriate, and we could cover the shortfall using those. The budget's already passed, so I don't think either department would have enough room in their budget to handle an extra $25,000. However, that's what that conversation would look like. We need to keep in mind that any of those decisions need to happen by August the 19th, just in case council finds themselves in a lame duck situation. You've delegated authority to the CAO clerk treasurer for certain things, but I think we would want to have a solid decision on how you'd like to proceed before that.
Councillor Thompson?
So, what do they have for backup power now in the garage and the fire hall? Nothing?
Go ahead, Christine.
They have a portable generator that they can hook up to the facilities, and that keeps the lights on and the ability to open the doors and the garage heated. My understanding is it also is equipped to run the community hall next door as well. I believe it can do both things, but it's portable. So we have to physically take it. What we're suggesting is an automatic generator.
Well, I think just in some sort of a crisis or whatever, we have an emergency. I mean, it's good to have full-time power. I don't know if you've ever been in that garage. The doors aren't open. It's pretty hard to see your way around in there. It's pretty black, and the fire hall's not a whole lot better. It would seem to make more sense, even from a safety standpoint, that we would have something there that would kick on automatically as we have here, so. But I know, I think it's, if you can get $25,000, it goes a long ways.
Okay, so did you have, go ahead, Deputy Falk.
I was going to ask, the fire hall in Ward 2 would probably has a generator already, but what about the garage? There's there's a generator, is a portable one or a big one? Oh, good. Okay, well, it sounds like a good approach then.
Just to elaborate on that, the fire hall and the Northbrook garage, those were installed with funding as well. Yep. Not the same funding, a different funding stream, but yeah.
I think it's a good idea up here, but I was just wondering, what about the Northbrook Medical Clinic, or I call it the Northbrook Medical Clinic? Do they have a backup? And they do, just
Yes,
confirm.
yes.
Yep.
The Northbrook Medical Center and this facility that we're in now has backup power from a donation that we received from the Community Foundation of Lennox and Addington. Yeah.
Okay, so a motion could be that we approve staff applying for a grant for the Denbigh Fire Hall, Denbigh Garage, joint, I guess it joint Denbigh Fire Hall, Denbigh Garage backup generator.
Make that motion.
Moved by Councillor Thompson, seconded by Deputy Hook. Any other questions? So call the vote. Councillor Thompson?
Yes.
Deputy Hook?
Yes.
Councillor Levier?
Yes.
Councillor Yantz?
Yes.
And that motion is carried. Move on to 7.4, a letter from Glenn Davison regarding a township roads policy. Yes, so Patricia, you provided a report. Did you want to provide an overview? Yeah.
Thank you. So yes, a letter was received regarding road policy requirements and concerns over what was required for a condition of the consent that was granted in 2025. So the new lot that was created is beyond the maintained portion of the road. And there was a condition that the road be brought up to the requirements of the road policy. There is concerns over these requirements and that they are just the magnitude of those requirements, I guess. And we did ensure that in that condition that we included that it was to the satisfaction of the township. And having regard to the existing maintained portion of Wilson Hills Road and any minor deviations approved by the roads manager. The intent of this was to ensure that the road was not fixed up to a standard greater than the approach, the road that is existing. We've talked to the applicant about this and I thought that was what was understood, but.
Yes, questions from council? Yeah, go ahead, Deputy Hook.
Well, the letter from Mr. Davison, I'm assuming his facts are correct in here, that he thought that there was a initial discussion and that it was like a common sense approach where Patricia and Brett were there and said, well, you know, touch up the road a bit and that would be fine. And then the second discussion or a later discussion said it had to be actually brought up to full township standards. And I live on a private road. If somebody was to sever a lot on that private road, it would be approved, I'm assuming, but we wouldn't have to upgrade that to a township road. Or somebody, I'm thinking of Doc and Mary Ruth who live on Mallory Lake, which is on a non-maintained road. If there was a severance back in there, we wouldn't require them to upgrade the road to township standards. So I can't understand why this is a non-maintained portion of a road, and why are we requiring that to be brought up to township standard? It seems to me like he knows it's a non-maintained road. Could we not just have him sign a document saying that in the case of emergency, we may not be able to get emergency vehicles in there, just like everybody lives on a private road and everybody lives on a non-maintained road. I don't know why we have to put through a huge expense. He's saying $40,000. Because we're trying to get new development here. The province wants new development, and yet we're putting up these roadblocks. And I guess I'm blaming the planner on this one because they always bring roadblocks forward. And I think we should use a common sense and say that this is silliness. And if he has to bring that up to township standards, it's going to cost $40,000. That's development loss. We're not going to get it. So.
Councillor Yantz, go ahead.
Yes, Councillor Hook brings up a lot of good points. And it's always been my understanding that the Wilson Hills Road was seasonally maintained. And if it was seasonally maintained, why hasn't it been seasonally maintained? I think, yes, there just seems so many, pardon the pun, but so many roadblocks when people are just wanting to build a home and they'll be paying taxes and looking after their property. And here we are. And if anybody took a drive in there, they would see that over the years it has been maintained. It was just, I think, 2 years ago, there was a washout for some reason, and the road has never been brought up to the standard it was before. Now the Hills Road has there is a hill there, and that was the part of the road that was never in the wintertime, it wasn't maintained because there was no way a truck could get down there and negotiate that corner and go back up the hill. And we all understand that, and the Davison family understands it as well. So I'm thinking that we need to be able to either um, I guess in our road, we have an allowance that we can give, not give, people $5,000 to help maintain the road, like we have over the course of the years to other homeowners, including the Ruths, to help them so they can get to their property. I'm not sure why perhaps that's something we could do for this as well, if we're going to insist that it's on maintained road. It's always been brought to my attention that it's the seasonally maintained road. So I think we need to cut these roadblocks and let them have this severance and get it a reasonable requirement. Somebody to pay $40,000, a young person, and they're wanting to build a home is, to me, is just sort of astronomical.
I didn't actually look at the roads policy to see whether Wilson Hills is in the list, so of seasonally maintained road, that section. It's a good question. I don't know. Do you know, Patricia, if it is? What category it is? No.
I didn't look at
No,
the,
okay.
to see
Thank-
what section was seasonally maintained, no.
Yeah,
How many kilometers? We could look at that, though.
yeah. So one option yeah. Go ahead, Christine.
I think Patricia could be afforded the
Yeah.
opportunity to respond to some of, there's policy related issues with Deputy Reeve Hook's concerns. So I think maybe if we could afford Patricia an
Yeah.
opportunity to explain those, that would be good.
Sure. Go ahead.
Sure. So to start, there's the official plan policy, which includes policy from the provincial government. So yes, they do want more homes built. However, they do impose policy on us about safety and health and safety. And so new lots are to be developed on maintained roads. Our roads policy itself requires that if there is going to be a transfer of a road, or it doesn't specifically speak to new lots, but development on a road that is not maintained, it needs to be brought up to a certain standard. So that is the policy that we used when the recommendation was included in the decision from the committee. If the condition was to be reconsidered, it really would be a matter for the Committee of Adjustment to make that decision rather than council, although it seemed they're the same body of people. It is a different approval authority. So it really should go to the committee. The letter was addressed to council, so it did need to come to council. But if there are any changes to conditions, they would have to go to the committee. We could get the planner to speak on that as well. Just why those policies were looked at or included in that recommendation. But it is the township's official plan policy that requires the new lots be created on maintained roads. And we did look at the road maintenance policy as well and referred to that in the decision and provided a copy of that. However, we did say that it didn't have to be, we're not going to improve the road beyond what is the rest of the existing road is for that stretch in front of the new lot.
Thank you. Deputy Hook, do you have a question? Yes.
Well, just further on what you're saying, Patricia, so you're saying the policy says we can't create new lots unless it's a maintained road, a township maintained road. So what about private roads and non-maintained people that own lots already on non-maintained roads? Are you saying we can't create any new lots on private roads? And
The provincial policy doesn't want you creating lots on private roads, including the policy from the Ministry of Transportation. However, if the private road enters onto a municipal road, they could, but then they would probably need to go through a zoning bylaw amendment, perhaps even an official plan amendment. But there would be just other Planning Act applications that would have to be considered for that.
Councillor Yance?
I guess we need to get a handle on what roads are seasonally maintained, only maintained, and unmaintained roads, because Deer Rock Lake Road is a prime example. There are a lot of private properties up that road, and I'm sure if they decided, and there are camps up there too, and I'm sure that at some point there are going to be some new homes wanting to be built up there. And are we going to say no to those people? This is just absolutely bizarre. Um, if we have to, the planner or whoever, we need to override a lot of this stuff and get things done. This is just, I just can't understand it at all.
Councillor Thompson?
Just a question, Patricia. So in the original viewing of the road, it was some gravel and a hill repaired, and then it ended up being 1,400 feet of 4 to 6 inches of gravel. Like, how did you arrive at that? Was that, like, where would that come from? I'm just wondering where that would have come from.
I think it comes from the policy. I wasn't at the on-site meeting. I'm not certain who attended from the applicant's perspective, if it was the applicant or the one of the representatives. So I'm not certain who attended the meeting with the roads manager. At that point, my understanding was they understood that it was to be brought up to the same standard of what was existing. The development agreement and talk of the development agreement and an inclusion of the roads policy, which I was provided to them with the decision, and again with the, when there was talk of developing the development agreement, is more specific and includes the standards that we want a road to be, all different classifications of roads. So I'm assuming perhaps the miscommunication was just that, okay, now you've handed me this policy again, and this is what you want it to be brought up to. It's not what we agreed to on site or something. I'm not certain. I haven't spoke to him to know.
It's, I can see where it's rather frustrating when he has the idea of, I've only been doing a few loads of gravel and now I'm up to 40 grand here. So I just kind of wondering how that kind of evolved, and like, perhaps our best avenue here is to go to the Committee of Adjustment and hammer this out and figure out, a fair way to do this. We don't want to be, we don't want to be stepping down on people that are trying to make it better. Like, I mean, we all want our township to succeed, so.
Patricia, go ahead.
I think my recommendation then would be that the matter be deferred to the Committee of Adjustment and staff be directed to speak with the applicant and discuss it further, and then we can bring information back to the committee.
Councillor Denbigh?
In the last paragraph of Mr. Davidson's letter, he talks about other roads that have been taken over by the city. Is there a difference here, or? He talks, there are many side roads in our area that have been taken over and maintained by the township at no cost to the owners, specifically Deer Rock Lake Road, or Rainbow Valley. Is it Pethick's, O'Donnell Road, and Slave Lake, the Clark Lane north to an old farmhouse? Do we know how they resolved those?
Patricia, go ahead.
Thank you. Those roads would have been taken over, just over the extended use of through the municipality. So when we created the roads maintenance policy, I'm assuming those roads were included in that. When a person creates a new lot, we then look to all of those other policies. So we look to the provincial policy statement, the official plan, the zoning bylaw, the county's official plan. So that's when you end up with, this might be historical and what has happened in the past, either pre-amalgamation or since, and with the development of different roads policies. But when you consider a new lot, that's when you have to open up all of the policies, including the provincial policies and the county official plan as well.
I was just thinking if there was a precedence in there that we could use.
I don't think they pertain
No.
to new lots.
So Patricia had suggested that this issue, a request be deferred to the Committee of Adjustment. If council chooses to do that, I think also would help. We do have a roads policy that we put in place. All the roads were identified as to what's maintained year round and what's seasonally maintained. It's very specific in the roads policy. I just didn't look at. So the Committee of Adjustment would be privy to that information too by the time they get together and understand that. And so it would include a bit more information on that for the Committee of Adjustment. You'd be talking, staff would be talking with the applicant and also our manager of roads and waste, and bring a report to the Committee of Adjustment. It may not get resolved at that meeting. It may or may not be, depending how many questions we end up. We may be more questions that we have at that. So I don't know if there's, Christine, did you have anything you want to offer today on this issue before we have someone makes a resolution?
No, I think that's a good approach to defer it back to the committee. I was able to find our road maintenance policy. I've been
So go ahead.
desperately scrolling here to try to
no.
find it. So on our full maintenance road, so year-round, fully maintained roads, our schedule says Wilson Hills Road from Freeburn Road to Boundary Road. It's 1.1 kilometer. Now, I do note that, bear with me, it's slow, but we're getting there. On our schedule of summer or minimum maintenance roads, Wilson Hills Road is also listed, and it's saying that it's from Freeburn Road to Boundary Road, which I thought that's what I just said about the fully maintained road. So there does seem to be a little discrepancy there. So I think to have the manager of roads and waste comment on the status of each particular section of that road would be helpful for council.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, Deputy Fook?
Typically on the Committee of Adjustment, the landowner is invited to come and, right? The landowner is invited to come to the Committee of Adjustment typically, right? Hopefully he will attend because he's probably not watching YouTube, I can't imagine, so. So I hope he can attend the in-person meetings. That doesn't live that far away.
Yes. And the other sort of thing that Patricia floated is we could have the planner available likely via virtually if we wanted. Maybe a good idea. Okay, it won't hurt. It's probably. So but you're going to make a motion to wrap all those pieces together. Did you want to repeat all that, Helen, Councilor? As seconded by Councilor Thompson.
You, Christine.
Christine has it all together. Okay. Thank you. Any other questions on this one? Call the vote. Councilor Thompson,
Yes.
Deputy Fook, Councilor Navier,
Yes.
Councilor Yanch.
Yes.
And that motion's carried. And thanks, Patricia. Move forward. Item 7.5 is a resolution from the village of Merrickville-Wolford seeking support for their resolution. And it's tied to their OPP detachment board requesting the province expand financial commitment to municipalities in Ontario related to a province-wide approach to public safety. It's a very tangled because they have two resolutions and they're tied together, one from the OPP detachment board and one for themselves. But they're essentially asking for us to endorse that the province expand funding to support public safety initiatives without getting into all the detail. Deputy Fook?
Motion to support.
Motion to support, seconded by Councillor Olivier. Any questions? Call the vote. Councillor Thompson,
Yes.
Deputy Hook.
Yes.
Councillor Olivier,
Yes.
Councillor Yance.
Yes.
And that motion is carried. Item 7.6 is a resolution from the Township of South Stormont seeking support for their resolution declaring requesting the provincial government to raise social assistance rates to meet life's basic needs and by establishing a guaranteed livable basic income. Comment that I have is I believe with the same issue came to council before from a different municipality, and I know the comment I made at that time was at what cost? And not that it's not a good initiative, it's just is an affordable. Difficult to support something if you knew it was really not feasible in terms you could not afford it provincially. Councillor Yance?
I'll make a motion to receive. And yes, I do understand the need of all this, but I just don't know whether that's the place to start or some other.
We have a move to receive, seconded by Councillor Olivier. Any other comments? No, we'll call the vote. Councillor Thompson,
Yes.
Deputy Hook.
Yes.
Councillor Olivier,
Yes.
Councillor Yance.
Yes.
That motion's carried. Item 7.7 is a resolution from Town of South Bruce Peninsula seeking support for the resolution of the province of Ontario to recognize outdoor education as an essential educational service across Ontario and ensure all students have access to it. What's your wishes? Councillor Yance,
Motion to receive and support.
mover, seconded by Deputy Hook. Any comments? No, call the vote. Councillor Thompson,
Yes.
Deputy Hook.
Yes.
Councillor Olivier,
Yes.
Councillor Yance.
Yes.
And that motion's carried. Item 7.8 is a resolution from the town of Halton Hill seeking support of their resolution requesting the province of Ontario to essentially undertake a review and modernization of Ontario's invasive plant regulatory framework. And there is a lot of other explanation around that included, but that's the gist of it. Councillor Thompson.
I'll make a motion, receive and support.
Moved by Councillor Thompson, second by Deputy Hook. Question, Deputy Hook?
Just a comment. When we last bought a house, on the corner of the house, there was a beautiful plant growing, and it was like, they called it bamboo, but what it was is Japanese knotweed, which is a terrific invasive species, but it was purchased from a nursery. And I think there's a lot of invasive species that are sold at nursery because there's very little regulation or not enough regulation. So hopefully supporting this will help that because there's just too much going on at the nursery level. People don't know what they're buying and how dangerous it is for the environment.
Thank you. Any other comments? We have a mover, seconder. Call the vote. Councillor Olivier? You. Yes, we had a mover, seconder for that. Yes, we'll call the vote. Councillor Thompson,
Yes.
Deputy Hook.
Yeah.
Councillor Olivier
Yes.
and Councillor Yance.
Yes.
And that motion is carried. Move on to matters for consideration. Just first, can we have a motion to receive all matters? Moved by Councillor
I'll make a
Thompson,
motion.
seconded by Councillor Yance. I'm going to speak briefly just to the first one, the Mississippi Madawaska Land Trust related to Chatson Woods. I was present at that opening on June 6th to represent the Township of Addington Highlands. Did make I wouldn't say presentation, but a number of statements recognizing the event, certainly the donation of the property and the Mississippi Madawaska Land Trust, the work they do, and the value to our community of preserving the property. There were about 30 people in attendance, and it was a nice event back in the bush at the gravel pit. So that's on the property. Deputy Hook.
Could you share who the donor of the property was?
Yes, Tony and Irene Chatson. So it was a partial donation. Yeah, and it, just want to make sure I don't say something. Yeah, it was publicly presented. So the Mississippi Madawaska Land Trust raised essentially all the money to purchase this property at market value. But there was some other donation in kind, essentially from Tony and Irene Chatson. Yes, that's what I comment on that one. Anything, anyone else? No. Other comments? We have a motion on the floor. Call the vote. Councillor Thompson,
Yes.
Deputy Hook.
Yes.
Councillor Levier,
Yes.
Councillor Yench.
Yes.
And that motion's carried. Reports of committees and boards. Anyone want to point out anything on those? I don't have anything to bring up. Reports of officers, manager, roads and waste. We have a report from the manager, roads and waste. Any questions for the CAO who's filling in for the manager, roads and waste here, fielding questions? Councillor Thompson.
I'll make a motion to receive the report.
We have a second by Councillor Yanch. Any questions? No. I call the vote. Councillor Thompson,
Yes.
Deputy Hook,
Yes.
Councillor Levier,
Yes.
Councillor Yanch.
Yes.
And that motion is carried. Nothing from the CBO, the CEO clerk treasurer into item 10.3. 10.3.1 is a procedure bylaw update. Christine.
Thank you. So this was a long time coming, this procedure bylaw update. It was one of the items on my to-do list shortly after the last election in 2022. I've created a report for council to review. You'll notice we included in the report the proposed updated draft versus the existing rules of procedure. There is a marked difference between the two documents. We started this journey by staff creating a draft, and former Reeve Hogg and current Reeve Fritsch sat down with Patricia and myself to go through it. It was a long meeting, and we went through it item by item. And what you have in front of you is the collaboration of the four of us, basically. Just some significant changes that I tried to highlight in the report itself. I'll go through them. Changing the notice period for a special meeting from 48 hours to 24 hours. That gives us a little more flexibility if something comes up in a near term and we need a decision as staff rather quickly, or council needs to make a decision quickly. Moving the budget adoption date from the first meeting in May to the first meeting in April. For those members of council that sit on the Joint Fire Committee with North Frontenac, that would be a wise change, I think. It allows us to react to the adoption of that budget. So we're not approving something and then being forced to live with it 2 months down the road when we adopt our own.
Can Deputy Reeve Hook ask you a question?
Sure.
Could I ask you a question on that point?
Absolutely, yeah.
So that is a very good point. But how does that, just moving it ahead a month, how does that change anything from May to April?
So if you recall, we didn't adopt our budget formally until May this year, but we had concluded our budget deliberations in March. So my idea is that we will move forward and we'll do budget in January, February. The budget for the Joint Fire Committee needs to be approved in February, and the rules of procedure for the Joint Fire Committee is the
Okay.
budget has to be passed by the 1st of April. So we'll know right in there because we're going to adopt our consolidated budget shortly right after that.
Right, okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
And that's not to say, sorry, That's not to say that, we try this out for a bit. A lot of municipalities have moved to doing budget deliberations in the fall. So we can try this out, and if this works and we really feel we need to back it up even further, we certainly can reevaluate that point. There is the addition of a land acknowledgement statement during the inaugural meeting of council, which occurs once every 4 years. This is similar to county council with one significant difference. County council has an inaugural meeting every year because they appoint a new warden annually. So what we're suggesting is we do the land acknowledgement in our inaugural meeting that's consistent with the county, but keep in mind, members of council, that will only happen once every 4 years. There's also the addition of a public forum on the agenda, which would allow members of the public to address council regarding matters included in that particular agenda. Sort of the reasoning behind this was members of the public don't know what's on the agenda until it's published. So at that point, it's too late to become a delegation to speak to the matters that are on the agenda. So this would give them an opportunity to come to council and speak to those matters. So that's been included. That's a big change. In addition, the removal of the requirement for a recorded vote while live streaming if all members of council are present in the council chambers or meeting room. And this is tied to the definition of an electronic meeting. So we've altered that definition a little bit to define electronic meeting where one member of council at a minimum is participating, not in the room. So if all of you are here, it's just being live streamed. It's not technically an electronic meeting by the revised definition, so therefore the requirement for the recorded vote wouldn't be necessary. So there's also the removal of sections of the rules of procedure which exist now, which are included in other policies. So we did that large scale human resources policy that incorporates remuneration for council. It includes travel policies for members of council. So that's all included elsewhere. So we've taken those pieces out. There's additional detail with respect to both the roles of both members of council and staff. So we've just elaborated on those roles a little bit more specifically members of staff as opposed to council. Council was already in there, but we've expanded on those roles. Additional detail with respect to the conduct of business, conduct of debate, and motions. So you'll notice there's a lot more definitions related to specific motions, when they're appropriate, what order they should be in. We didn't include all of them. Robert's Book of Rules is quite large, so there is a disclaimer in there that, if it's not included in the rules of procedure, then we'll defer back to Robert's Rules of Order. We also included the live streaming policy. So as it is right now, it's a standalone policy on its own. So there was an idea that we would incorporate any documents or any policies related to the conduct of council meetings into this one policy. And that includes terms of references as well for our committees. So that way it's all in one document. Not all committees have terms of references, so that might be something council wants to work towards in the future. We also included the procedure for filling a council vacancy by appointment, which we had to actually develop earlier this year. I want to make a special mention of that, being that council still will need to make the decision if they want to have a by-election if a vacancy happens. But in the event that they choose to go by appointment, then we would defer to the policy that's included in the rules of procedure. We also included the council code of conduct and council staff and relationship policy. Those are policies council already adopted. They're already in place, but we're moving them into this document as appendices. Basically, I just wanted to also point out the bylaw associated with the adoption of the rules of procedure comes from 1998. Council has made updates to the rules of procedure as required. So we needed to make some updates in 2020 when we had COVID. We needed to make provisions for electronic meetings. And any changes to the municipal act over the years since amalgamation, we've made changes to that. So it's not like we haven't evolved and the document hasn't changed, but it's time, I think, now for a full review of the document and make sure that we're catching everything that we need to catch. So I did include in the report sort of a timeline. It is tight. That council, the goal is to have this revised rules of procedure adopted before nomination day, being August 21st, 19th. I get it wrong every time. I don't know why I have those two dates in my mind. So today, council will receive the first draft, and I'm hoping will direct staff to place a notice on the township's website and in the Frontenac News, alerting the public of council's intention to adopt new rules of procedure. June 30th being the deadline for members of council and the public to submit any comments related to the draft included in this agenda back to me so that I can include it on the July 7th regular meeting agenda. Council then will take all of those comments received by members of council and members of the public, take those into consideration, direct staff on any amendments, with the final draft coming before council on August the 4th to be adopted by bylaw. Any questions about any of that?
Yeah, thank you, Patricia. I do have a comment.
Okay.
It's a lot of work
It was-
and yeah, it's great. It's close to being updated. I mean, that we're close to a final draft anyway, other than the comments that'll come in. So that's great. I did have a comment that Patricia noted because it spent 7 years in the deputy reef position, and I certainly don't mean no offense to anyone in the deputy reef position, but I always wondered what the duties of the deputy reeve were if the reeve never needed the deputy reeve to fulfill a deputy reeve's position. So, and Henry was, he was a soldier. He was always there. And other than you participate in county council, which you're fully compensated for through the county. So anyway, I personally could never come up with a list of duties for the deputy reeve. I've thought about that. It's really up to the deputy reeve, I guess, to make the role what it is, what suits them the best, right? So,
Can I just add?
go
And
ahead, Christine.
on that note, though, if any of members of, so we have left that sort of blank, that it is just filling in for the reeve when they're unavailable. But if any members of council have suggestions, that would be part of what we're looking for on the 30th.
Yeah. So we have a staff recommendation here. If you, unless there's some comments on the timeline, do you have go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to
question?
comment, this was enlightening for me,
Oh.
as a new member, because it really explained a lot of how things work. So I was really happy to see that and looking forward to trying to comment on it.
And
Hey, Christine.
and I think that was the purpose of updating it, although the rules of procedure that are in place right now are fine. I felt maybe they were just a little bit lacking in some details. So that's great that this is helpful.
Councillor Yance?
I'll make the recommendation.
So you have a mover, you have a seconder, Deputy Reeve Hook. Any other comments? Call the vote. Councillor Thompson,
Yes.
Deputy Reeve Hook.
Yes.
Councillor Levier,
Yes.
Councillor Yance.
Yes.
That motion is carried. Thank you, Christine. And you, Christine, you have another item under, you want to add under medical center roof? Go ahead.
Yes, please. Thank you. In the absence of the CBO facilities manager, he did request that I bring something to council's attention with respect to the Northbrook Medical Center. We've been experiencing some periodic water leakage in one part of the clinic, and upon examination, it looks like it's a direct result of the roof needing to be reshingled in a certain area, the south side 2 slopes. So staff Unfortunately, we did not realize this until the budget was presented before council in May. But staff have gone and contacted 3 roofing contractors to provide quotes to the municipality to get that work done. Unfortunately, we've only received 1 back. The other 2 have declined to submit. We do have a quotation for that work in the amount of 12,972.40. That's inclusive of HST. So we would get a portion of that back. Staff is actually requesting of council that we be permitted to move ahead with replacing the shingles on the roof in order to mitigate any further water damage in the building. And that I think there is some cushion in the Northbrook Medical Center budget, but in the event that there's not, that we request the additional funds be taken from reserves to cover the shortfall.
Yes. Go ahead, Deputy Hook.
I'd make that motion that we proceed with the reshingling of the roof based on the quote received.
The mover, seconded by Councillor Levier. Any other comments? Councillor Thompson,
Yes.
Deputy Hook.
Yes.
Councillor Levier
Yes.
and Councillor Yance.
Yes.
The motion's carried. Thank you. That is a big roof on that building, and we seem to be doing a section every couple of years. Piecemeal. Deputy Clerk, Planning Secretary, nothing. Fire Chief, reports of appointees. Okay. Resolutions. None. Approval of the accounts as of June 15th, 2026, moved by Councillor Yance, seconded by Councillor Levier. Anything you want to bring out? I had one question I meant to ask you before the meeting, Christine. It's on invoice. Do you look up invoice numbers? It's invoice 123774. It's professional services related to the Bridge Street culvert replacement. I was just, because it didn't name a company or anything, I was. The invoice number? I don't have that list right in front of me, but it was 123774. It's for 20-some thousand, I believe. It just said professional services, Bridge Street culvert replacement.
Well,
Yeah, I do apologize. I meant to give you a heads up on that ahead of time, but I didn't.
one, 2, 3, 7, 7, 4.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know why it's the line above.
Oh, is it?
So it is from Jewel Engineering, and Councillor
Oh.
Levier, you are correct. It's the engineering costs for that. What page is that on, Patricia? Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, see that?
I missed that.
That's all right. We found it.
Okay, thank you. Did we have a mover in this? Yes, we did. Any other questions? Nope. Call the vote. Councillor Thompson,
Yes.
Deputy Hook,
Yes.
Councillor Levier,
Yes.
Councillor Yance.
Yes.
That motion's carried. Any members' statements? I have a couple member statements. I'll try to keep it very short. So one was just the Touch the Truck event in Northbrook on Saturday. Certainly our township was there with some roads equipment and with fire department equipment. So we were well represented and supported that event. The one of the most other event was on June the 9th this year. There was I'm going to call it an awards grants ceremony, so to speak, event for the Community Foundation for Lennox and Addington. It was in Selby. I attended that and it was pretty interesting. So the Community Foundation provides funding to support local people, charities, and organizations. This year they granted $202,000. In that they have dozens of separate funds that are part of that overall what they manage. One of the funds that actually supported our standby generators at our community center here and the Northbrook Medical Center was a Mazenod Community Fund. And this year, the Mazenod Community Fund supported a number of things. One was a Mazenod Lake swim program, 3 different programs for NAEC students that received funding, and 2 students at NAEC who received 3 different awards in general. So one received 2 awards, the other received 1 award. So we were quite well represented at that event, which was great to see. And again, the funding that went to Addington Highlands was pretty well exclusively from the Mazenod Community Fund. So it was a great event, and I was glad to be there. Anything else anyone wants to add? So maybe we have a motion just to receive my verbal report. Moved by Councillor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Yance. Call the vote. Councillor Thompson?
Yes.
Deputy Hook?
Yes.
Councillor Levier?
Yes.
Councillor Yance?
Yes.
And that motion's carried. Any new business? No. Bylaw 16.1, bylaw 1038 relates to authorize the naming of a road located just off of Buckshot Drive, namely Beachfront Lane. So 3 readings. Deputy Hook, second by Councillor Yance. Call the vote. Councillor Thompson?
Yes.
Deputy Hook?
Yes.
Councillor Yance, Deputy Councillor Levier?
Yes.
Councillor Yance?
Yes.
That motion is carried. So we're on to section 17, which is a closed meeting. So pursuant to section 239(2) of the Municipal Act 2001 as amended, this part of the meeting will be closed to the public in order to adopt closed meeting minutes of June 2nd, 2026, and to receive a recommendation from the Personnel and Finance Committee regarding the West Maccoon waste site custodian position, and to receive and review resumes for the Ward 1 handyman position, and to receive and consider personal information regarding an identifiable individual, namely a township employee. We have a motion to go into close, moved by Councillor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Olivier. Call the vote. Councillor Thompson?
Yes.
Deputy Hook?
Yes.
Councillor Olivier?
Yes.
Councillor Yance? That motion is carried, and we will go into closed. Good afternoon. We're back into open meeting. A closed meeting was held at 2:10 p.m. today pursuant to section 239(2) of the Municipal Act 2001 as amended in order to adopt closed meeting minutes of June 2nd, 2026, and to receive a recommendation from the Personnel and Finance Committee regarding the West Lemcoon waste site custodian position, And to receive and review resumes for the Ward 1 handyman position, and to receive and consider personal information regarding an identifiable individual, namely a township employee. So we have a motion that it be resolved that recommendations in the closed meeting be adopted. Mover, Councillor Levier, seconded by Councillor Thompson. Call the vote. Councillor Thompson,
Yes.
Deputy Reeve Hook.
Yes.
Councillor Levier,
Yes.
Councillor Yance.
Yes.
And that motion is carried. Moving on to item 19.19.1 is bylaw 1039, 2026. It's a confirming bylaw for the proceedings of our council meeting.
I'll give it 3 readings.
3 readings by Councillor Thompson, seconded by Deputy Reeve Hook. Call the vote. Councillor Thompson.
Yes.
Deputy Reeve
Yes.
Hook. Deputy Reeve Hook.
Yes.
Councillor Levier.
Yes.
Councillor Yance.
Yes.
That motion's carried. We have a motion to adjourn. Councillor Yance, Councillor Levier. And I'll call the vote. Councillor Thompson.
Yes.
Deputy Reeve Hook.
Yes.
Councillor Levier.
Yes.
Councillor Yance.
Yes.
And that motion is carried. And the meeting is adjourned.